Recently, someone asked me online what were my really top tips, priorities for anyone starting out with tarot who wants to get up and running. Well, there's a lot of stuff on my channel, but I thought I'd make a video that just is one-stop shopping for you so that you can just watch this and take away something to get you going for the first months. This video will also be to some extent a guide to my channel because at various points I will be referring to videos I've already made and whole playlists of videos that I already have made up for you to make this channel more user-friendly. So as you watch, you will see sort of appearing in the top right corner little links that will take you to exactly to the video that you want to go to or to the playlist. But as I say, if you just watch this, it'll give you my priorities for getting yourselves up and running as quickly and painlessly as possible. In 7 points, point number 1, get yourself a deck. Now, I started off with the Aquarian, but I'm telling you, you might as well start off with the Rider-Waite-Smith. If you have friends that are into Marseille style tarot reading and they are supportive and they're going to help you, then you can go down the Marseille route. It's a bit like Mac and PC. You have to choose at the beginning. It's a fork in the road. I am an RWS, Rider-Waite-Smith tarot reader, and this whole channel is about Rider-Waite-Smith style tarot reading. So if you want to do Marseille style, this video is not for you and this channel's not for you. So what I'm saying is get yourself the RWS because it is the foundation deck of everything I'm talking about. My favorite iteration of it is the Smith-Waite Centennial Edition in a tin. You can get it in a tin or out of a tin, but it's a lovely version. The colours are slightly muted. The tin is great. I like bridge-sized cards, not tarot-sized cards. And there's one. Of course, you can read with other decks. I have a whole playlist of reviews of tarot decks. The ones that are more or less suitable, the ones that are more or less helpful. Have a look at my playlist and knock yourself out. There will be a deck for you. Point number 2, colour in your own tarot cards. This is a very traditional practice/meditation that is always recommended to starting out tarot readers. Tarot readers have done this over the years. Now there is one deck that's specifically made for colouring in, Builders of the Aditum. But what I recommend you do is go online. When I last checked, there was a website called alintarot.com. I'll give you a link for that. And on this website, you can get free Rider-Waite printable colouring book pages. Okay? So here you have on A4, you've got 2 to A4. You can get bigger or smaller. You can get 4 onto an A4 sheet or 1 onto an A4 sheet. On this website, just download them. Because I had the devil in me, because I'm so hardcore, I went for the biggest version. And as you can see, I've coloured it in. I used crayons, I used a bit of gouache, and yes, there is a video that I've made. In fact, there's 2 videos with tips about colouring in your own tarots. Now, what this does is it slows you down and it forces you to spend time with your cards, to spend time with the designs. And it's not like sitting in a room and omming and meditating and staring at the deck, which is fine, but can be a bit serious. It's colouring in, and when you colour in, the inner child is involved, and you know, it's relaxing, isn't it, colouring things? It's an excuse to do a childish thing, even though you might be an adult. And so you will spend a lot of time, depending on, you know, whether you do the big version or the small version, you'll spend a lot of time colouring these cards in. I think I coloured them in my set over the course of about a year. And that is just really good for you. It means that you get to really know the cards. It goes into your system. If you want, you can then take them to a printing shop, a Xerox shop, and shrink them down and print them tarot size and cut them out and make them into your own personal deck. That's a different matter. The important thing is you colour them in. Okay? Promise. Point number 3. In addition to colouring them in, I recommend this. And this is a very special meditation you can do over a long period of time. It's called Spending Time with the Major Arcana. Find yourself a tarot deck that you don't mind not using for the next maybe year or so, depending on how long it goes on for. And you're only going to use the major arcanas, okay? In this case, I would suggest maybe getting a tarot-sized deck, because this is more of a sort of a magical thing that you're doing. And starting, I think, with the Magician. I don't think traditionally one starts with the Fool. Take the first card of the major arcana and put it on your altar if you have an altar. If you don't have an altar, traditionally, you know, put it on your bedside table, just prop it up, and it just sits there. And it sits there until you encounter this archetype in your day-to-day life. Maybe you meet someone who you think's a bit magical, or something happens that reminds you of the picture here. And clearly you can do this in a very sort of intuitive way. You don't have to be an expert in the major arcana to do this exercise. You're allowing them to speak to you. Just relax into it and leave that card there until you feel that it's cropped up in your life. Maybe it could be a couple of weeks, it could be a few months, it could be longer, as I will let you know. Now, when you meet the Magician, put up the next card, High Priestess, prop it up on your altar or by the side of your bed, and leave it there until you meet her, and so on it goes. Now, if you don't meet one of these archetypes in your life, just leave the card there until you do. What's nice about this is that you can allow this meditation to stretch on for as long as you like. And I'll make a confession here. I am still in the middle of this. Well, actually, at the beginning of this meditation, I think I must have started it 3 years ago or something, because I got to the Charioteer and I haven't encountered the Charioteer in my life yet. I mean, I was hoping for some sort of motoring incident to happen. It hasn't happened yet. And so it's sitting on my altar, just gathering dust. And it's been there for actually a couple of years now. And this has its own meaning for me, which I won't go into because it's not about me. But you will find that as you live with these cards and as you invite them to speak to you and appear in your life, you will begin to get into the symbolic meanings of them. And of course, I suppose I hardly need to tell you that you can keep a journal while you're doing this and write down your impression of how these cards manifested in your life. The exercise will slow you down and invite you to accept that some things take time, some things take more than 60 seconds, some things might take more than a year, but it's worth it. And one of the themes of this video is be in it for the long haul. Promise. Sorry, I've got the devil in me. Okay, number 4, and this is challenging, but I can help. Find a list of keywords and keyword clusters that you resonate with. And of course, how are you to know which list of keywords or keyword clusters is the best one? People often on this channel ask me, Robert, who should we consult? And I don't know the answer. And so I have made videos. I've been reading tarot for 45 years. I have made lists of keywords and keyword clusters for you, dear viewer, and you can have a quick look at these. And this is a resource that I can offer you. If you don't like any of my keywords, read around and find alternatives, okay? What I think is very important is that the keywords that you choose, the clusters of meanings that you choose, are all positivistic. We don't want any disaster words creeping into our tarot practice. Now, in the old days, in the 18th century and the 19th century, people did use disaster words, like the Ten of Swords, ruin, the death card, death, or whatever. We can't really carry on like that. in the 21st century. And I don't think it's very responsible to read for other people unless your practice is positivistic. Personally, I have positive readings for all 78 cards, upright and reversed. Number 5, read widely and with discernment. You don't have to put yourself through a manic university course. Just every now and then, read a book about tarot. This will ground you. This will, again, slow you down, and it'll broaden your wisdom around tarot cards. Now, there's a lot of books out there. I have made, ding, a playlist. I've reviewed many tarot books. It's taken me a lot of time and a lot of thought, and you can see what I have to say and which books I recommend, which ones are top of my list and so forth. But so that this is a one-stop only video, here's 3 that I recommend you have a quick look at. To give yourself a grounding in fact, have a look at Helen Farley's Cultural History of Tarot. It's short, it's easy to read, fairly easy to read. The beginning might come across as a bit serious, but it's worth it. And this is very scholarly, so there's no factoids in here. It's all checked. You can believe this writer. If she says something happened, well, it probably did. And you can't say that about all tarot books. Clearly, the history of tarot is a bit murky because it was never a mainstream subject. So there are areas of uncertainty. But I would start with this. It will set you up well. For a more poetic, maybe a more esoteric look at the history of tarot, have a look at Mystical Origins of the Tarot by Paul Hewson. And this book is interesting because it's more of a working tarotist's guide to tarot. Paul Hewson rounds up all the meanings of the 78 cards as they have changed over the years, and that's an amazing resource to have. He's also a good readable writer, and he knows his stuff. These 2 authors disagree with each other over some things, but that's half the fun. And as a luxury, because reading should be fun, I recommend this marvellous, luxurious Taschen tarot book by, I think it's Jessica Hundley, and it's a coffee table book dealing with tarot design, and it's just a treat for the tarot reader. Tarot is an aesthetic pleasure, isn't it? And so treat yourself to that. And at the same time, this book gives you some very solid historical background and some very solid timelines of the history of tarot. So those 3 books will give you a very good foundation. Point number 6, just do lots of readings. Read for yourself regularly, and as I say, remember to be positivistic about it. Read for friends respectfully and carefully. What's the word? Don't impose yourself on friends or relatives or even strangers. Don't force them to accept a reading by you. That's really a bit borderline. It's just not on. People have to be clear that they want you to read for them, because even as a beginner, you can perceive things about the other person through the tarot cards that might go quite deep. So be very, very gentle and take responsibility, communicate clearly and be honest. And if you see things in the cards when you're working with other people that you're not sure that you want to pass on, have something up your sleeve that you can say. Say something like, oh, the energies are very disturbed today. I'm sorry, I can't read for you. It might feel like a disaster, but it's better than saying something which might disturb them deeply. This issue of tact around tarot reading is something that really comes with years of experience. It's very important to say what you see, but it's also very important to couch it in the right language. But actually, yes, this is my most important tip. You learn by doing it. You have to keep at it. You have to do plenty of readings over the years. And my last point, point number 7, be in it for the long haul. Don't expect to become a great expert in a couple of weeks. relax into it, enjoy it, make note of your progress. And it's possible to be a good tarot reader at every stage in your progress. You can be a good inexperienced reader and you can be a good experienced reader. When you're experienced, you will be better, but tarot cards can be a great help and provide great insights also when you're just starting off. And keep in touch with other tarot readers. Go online, go on live streams. You can join me on my live streams, chat, feel that you're not alone, and enjoy it. That's all for me for now. I'll be back next week with more of this stuff. I'm Robert Farrar. This is Tea and Tarot. Enjoy my channel. Bye.